overall it felt good. I mean, everything on the car held up well. I mean, it's kind of like I said after the wreck, right? Other than the car flipping and getting airborne, I think everything held on well.
Has NASCAR given you any indication of what they thought? I mean, obviously, rarely do you see a car on the roof hit the wall upside down.
No, they haven't. I think we just got the car back Thursday and everything looked well. I haven't seen it yet, but I think that it's hard to say. Obviously, it's not ideal. I think it has a lot to do, in my opinion, unprofessional opinion, of just the fact that the 2 car was kind of on the left side of me, packing that air underneath as well, right? Like you saw, the 42 didn't flip. So I think it's just circumstance sometimes. Obviously, it's something to get figured out and get better, but that'll happen in time.
Joey Logano said earlier today that he thought maybe with the under panel being there on the car might attribute to that. Do you think if we took that off, that it would have worked better?
I mean, it's hard to say. I think, it makes sense, but fundamentally, that's what the whole car was built around, right? So, I don't know. I've watched NASCAR since I was a kid, and I've seen plenty of flips at Daytona and Talladega. It's just part of it. I think it's unfortunate, that's had a couple in a row, but, I think that obviously there's something to learn from it, but I don't know if you can single it out to one thing.
What do family and friends think after seeing it, talking to you?
It was violent for sure. I think, when we got home, I actually turned the race on and watched it back, watched like the last 30 or 40 laps, and watching it on TV live, I realized the concern because it was a big impact. Obviously it's just such a circumstance there, right? Not just, thankfully there was no grass, right? Otherwise I'd ended up just like Ryan. And so, there's been, a huge improvement in that aspect, but now it opens the next problem, which is that, I was skidding on my roof at 150 with no brakes or no way to slow the car down, and then I hit the wall. So, one fix creates another problem, but I know they'll get it figured out.
So what did you think then after seeing that live? And what struck you more than you had thought?
I was thankful more than anything, right? I'm thankful that I was okay and got out of the race car on my own and was home with my family, and the car did its job. It's not ideal by no means to have a car flip over like that, but I'm here racing next week. I think it says a lot about the next gen and the job NASCAR's done.
Were you bruised up? Were you, did you take a little while to heal like a football player and ice out or something?
I had a couple, very small bruises from the seat belts, but nothing near like I expected.
Hanging upside down?
When you're upside down like that, does everything work the way it's supposed to work, and rather than being in reverse? Because you're kind of like a test crash dummy for an upside down skid like that.
Yeah, it's hard to looking back on it now. I think being upside down, my head and neck restraint system was already extended probably before I hit the wall. The in-car camera, it was too dark to really tell too much, but I assumed that my Hans was stretched out already before I hit the wall, which I think helped from the impact there that would cause my neck to be sore. But obviously you're not fully in the seat, but I think it's a great example to everybody, whether they're racing here or at a Saturday night short track, to have your seatbelts right and have your car some tight. There's plenty of people that don't even hardly tighten their seatbelts, so that's a perfect example of why you do it.
Have you made any changes in your equipment, and if for this week, and if so, what?
No, everything held up exactly like it should. It's a credit to obviously NASCAR, but as well as our team at the Ford team at Stewart-Haas Racing. The effort that goes into making sure everything's perfect, right? That's the set standard they set, and everything held up well, and we made no changes.
When you were upside down, did you think, oh no, I'm upside down, I'm headed towards the wall? You don't have time to think of that, but everybody watching was thinking that.
When the car spun and I felt it start to lift, I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
I knew it was coming, honestly.
Yeah.
And then after that, when I was upside down, you can't even, it's so dark, you couldn't even really, I couldn't, after I got out, until I saw it on TV, I really couldn't tell exactly how I hit. Obviously I knew I hit somewhere in the front, but I didn't know if it was head on or a little to the side or, on the left front or the right front. So, it definitely, like I said, it looked bad on TV.
Were you conscious for the whole thing?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Do you have the mount data recorders that some drivers do? Use that or not?
No, I don't wear that.
Is that something that they start to look at, or is there still a comfort factor? Maybe you've tried it and just not as comfortable at this point.
Yeah, I think for me, maybe down the road that's something to look at. This being my first year, right? Like I didn't want to. I wasn't going to be the first one, I think, to volunteer to wear something that I haven't worn in my entire life. So it's something to look at down the road, but I think there's something in being comfortable in the car too.
I know you had a lot of things going on Saturday night, but obviously the Wood brothers winning and just the feeling of that. I'm guessing you got to reach out to them at some point, or have you?
Yeah, I have. I reached out to those guys as well as Harrison. It was a big deal, right? I think that winning their 100th race is a big deal. Winning at Daytona is a big deal. Obviously, making the playoffs and everything that's been talked about and comes through that only stands to benefit the team and ultimately benefit me next year too. So I'm happy for those guys. Winning a race in the Cup Series is important for sure and incredibly hard. So it was their night for sure.
Trenton Worsham with Frontstretch.com. Come back for more great racing videos. And if you like us, don't forget to hit the subscribe button.